Hello children, in this topic we are going to understand the heating effect of current and we'll talk about what is the meaning of electric power. So the main objective of today's lecture is you should be able to compute electric power and energy consumed by an electric appliances. You should also be able to compute electric energy in terms of what we call kilowatt hour or unit. So what is the heating effect of current? We all of us know that a battery or cell is a source of electrical energy. The chemical reaction within the cell generates potential difference and it forces the electrons to flow through the circuit. We also have seen in the previous lectures that to maintain the current, the source or the battery has to keep expending its energy. So the battery or the source of energy has to maintain the potential difference constant. So that means the source has to spend or expend energy. But you also know that energy is conserved. So if the source is supplying the energy, where is this energy going? So this energy, if the battery or source is connected to a say motor, so most of the energy is used, converted into mechanical energy, but it also produces heat, and this heat is not avoidable because of the current flowing through a resistor. It always produces heat. So what are in this circuit diagram we consider current flowing through a circuit which consists of resistors. Let the resistance of this resistor be R, and let us assume that the potential difference across the battery is V. So a current I or the charge will be flowing through the circuit. So the battery will be pushing a charge Q through the circuit. So that means the battery is doing the work, because if you recall, what is the potential difference? Potential difference is work done in moving a per unit charge across the 2 points. So the work done, like suppose the charge Q is flowing through the circuit in some say time t. So that means the battery is doing a work, and the work done will be equal to potential difference multiplied by the charge, because we have seen that the work done divided by charge equal to the potential difference. Okay, that means the battery is supplying, how much energy the battery is supplying is equal to V into Q in time t. Suppose the circuit is on for time t seconds. So the energy supplied by the battery is V, that is the potential difference, and the charge Q flowing through the circuit. So we can say that the power input to the circuit is work done. You know that the power, the definition of power is rate of doing work. So that means the power is equal to work done divided by time t. So work done V into Q divided by t. We have already we discussed in the previous lectures that the rate of flow of charge is nothing but the current. So that means Q by T is equal to I. So we can say the power is equal to V into I. V is the potential drop across the resistor and I is the current. So that means where is this energy going? This energy, where is it going? So this energy goes in a form of a heat in the resistors. So we can say when the current I is constant, steady, the heat energy, heat is equal to V into I, that is the power, and multiplied by time. So if you see apply the Ohm's law, we can say H equal to, you know that V is equal to I divided by R. So it becomes I square I square R T, V into I into T, so V is equal to I into R, so H is equal to I square R into T. R is, okay, is a typing mistake, so kindly correct it. H is equal to I square R into T, because if you substitute the value of V, V is equal to I divided by R, so it becomes I square R into T. So this is called the, this heating effect is called, what we call is a Joule's law. So Joule's law says that heat produced equal to I square R into T, where I is the current, R is the resistance of the resistor, and T is the time in which the current flows through the circuit. So what do we conclude from this equation? It implies that the heat produced in a resistor is directly proportional to the square of the current for a given resistance, because the term is I square. So it is proportional to the square of the current, and it is directly proportional to the resistance for a given circuit, because it is I square R. And also the heat dissipated is directly proportional to the time T, where T is in seconds, for which the current flows through the resistor. So this is what we call is the Joule's law of heating. So let us see what are the application of Joule's law of heating. In what way it is useful. So sometimes heating effect could be useful, sometimes it may have not a desirable effect, because you see Joule heating is unavoidable. It cannot be totally eliminated, because if you see if you connect a battery to a fan, the fan is running, it is producing the mechanical energy, useful energy, but some of the energy is wasted in the coil of the fan. So it is a waste of energy that way. And in many cases the heat can change the property, like if you got a circuit and if you got a resistor, so because of the Joule heating, the temperature of the circuit may increase, and some of the properties of the electrical circuit depends upon the temperature, and if the temperature is excessive, it may damage to the components. So that is as far the undesirable effect of Joule's heating is concerned. But Joule heating also has got very practical application, because if you see some of the devices, some of the appliances, you must be familiar, is electric oven, the laundry iron, electric toaster, electric heater. They are all based on the Joule's heating, and the electric current produces the heat, and which is in form of useful. Now I'll briefly explain you two important functions, application of heating effect. One is the fuse and other is the light in the electrical bulb. So if you see the fuse, you must have already studied about the fuse in your lower grades. So it is a device, the diagram is shown on the screen. It is a device and it is used to protect your electrical devices or electrical appliances. So what happens? It stops. How does it protect the circuit? It stops the flow of high current flowing through the circuit, and this is connected in series with the device. So one end of this and the other end is connected in the circuit or appliances where you want to have a protection, and it is connected in series. So if you see this, it has got a piece of metal. You see this? This is a glass enclosure, and there is a piece of metal wire, and this metal wire has got a appropriate melting point. So whenever the excessive current flows through the wire, it gets heated up. That means the temperature of the wire increases, and this wire melts, and once this melts, you'll find that it will break the circuit, and once the circuit is broken, your expensive appliances or device are protected. So if you see the fuse is a very important, and the cost of a fuse will be maybe 15 rupees or 20 rupees, but the cost of a say device appliance will be thousands of rupees. So it's a very useful device which is based on the Joule's heating. And if you see the commercial fuses, they are rated in current. You can ask for a 1 ampere fuse, 2 ampere fuse, 5 ampere fuse, and 10 ampere fuse. So what is the meaning of 1 ampere, 2 ampere? That means if the current flowing through the circuit is more than 1 ampere, because of Joule heating, the wire will melt and it will break the circuit. So that is as far the Joule's heating is concerned. Other important application of Joule's heating is electric bulb, which you already know that this electric bulb, the heat produces light. So if you see this has got a filament. If you see the bulb, I have got an electric bulb 220 volt, and I have got a filament. Now this filament is made of a very special type of material, and the temperature is very high. So the material selected is such that it does not melt, and the filament is made of a very strong metal with a very high melting point. So normally we use what we call the tungsten, okay, and the melting point of the tungsten is of the order of 3380 degree Celsius. So to prolong the life of the bulbs, they are filled with a chemically inert or inactive gas like nitrogen and argon, which you must have studied in your chemistry classes. But the problem with this normal bulb is most of the power is wasted as a heat, and only small portion appears as a light. So they are not very efficient. Now you find that the most efficient bulbs are LED bulb, where the efficiency is very high. Here the efficiency is very low. So having studied that, okay, let us see what is the meaning of electric power. All of us consume power. Okay, so what is a power? You must have studied in your lower grades that rate of doing work is called power, and the unit of power is watt. Like mechanical power also is watt, and the electrical power also we denote in terms of watt. So the unit of power is watt, and it is denoted by W. And it is the rate at which the energy is consumed, at which the energy is utilized. So we have already derived that power is equal to voltage, potential difference, and the current flowing through the circuit. So that means if the potential difference is 1 volt and the I is 1 ampere, so we can say that 1 watt is equal to 1 volt ampere. So it is denoted by volt ampere. We can also say that power is equal to V square by R. If you put I is equal to V by R, so P becomes V square by R. Or we can also write P is equal to I square R. So the unit of energy, like if you are using an appliance for a certain time, so how much energy you consume, because you know the unit of energy is joule, but joule is a very small energy. So we write energy consumed by a device or appliances in kilowatt hour. So you know that kilo means 1000, watt unit of power multiplied by hour is the time. So normally we indicate the energy consumed in terms of kilowatt hour. So 1 kilowatt hour means 1 kilo means 1000, watt hour means I told you have to convert into second. So 1 hour is how many second? 3600 seconds. So if you multiply this, you can say this is equal to 3.6 into 10 to the power 6 watt second. So that means this is 1 kilowatt hour, and we say that 1 kilowatt, we indicate kilowatt hour as a unit. So, okay, when you say that the energy consumed by the in your house is 100 units, that means it is 100 kilowatt hour. So with that we have finished the heating effect of current. We'll quickly go through a few example problems. So the first problem is given there on your screen. An electric bulb is connected to a 220 volt generator. The current is 0.5 ampere. So what is the power of the bulb? So like say this is the bulb, and normally this is connected to a 220 volt, which is the commercial power supply, and the current given is 0.5 ampere. So what is the power? You directly apply the formula P equal to V into I. Substitute the value of potential difference, voltage, and the current. So this is 110 joule per second. A joule per second is nothing but watt. So the answer is 110 watt. So you have to write the unit correctly. Next we will see one more problem. You must be familiar with the refrigerator. An electric refrigerator rated 400 watt operates 8 hours per day. So what is the cost of the energy to operate it for 30 days? Where the cost of the energy consumption is 3 rupees per kilowatt hour or 3 rupees per unit. So how do you solve this problem? The total energy consumed you have to calculate by the refrigerator in 30 days would be power and the time. So 400 watt, 8 hours per day. So into 30 days, in a month you have to calculate. So 1 month is 30 days, and in 1 day it is on only for 8 hours. So if you multiply this, you will get 96,000 watt hour, or you can write 96 kilowatt hour or 96 unit. So if the cost of the energy to operate the refrigerator in a month is 96 kilowatt hour multiplied by the cost of the energy per unit, so that comes rupees 288 will be the cost of running your refrigerator in a month. So that is the end of topic on electricity. The next topic will be magnetic effect of current. Thanks for watching. See you in the next class.